Everything you learned in history class was a lie. Well, maybe not everything, but they skipped the best parts. Introducing Stupiracy, where stupidity meets conspiracy. Ever heard of the Olympic marathon that nearly killed its runners? Or the time a pope put another pope's corpse on trial? Join me, Scott Rizzuto, and Tim McKernan as we uncover the most outrageous historical moments and mind-blowing conspiracies you won't believe actually happened. Tune into Stupiracy for your weekly dose of historical absurdity. Available wherever you get your podcasts. Remember, history is dumb, but laughing at it is smart.
Perfect.
Perfect.
Perfect timing, too.
Perfect.
I ain't getting rid of that.
Oh, save that stuff, Larry.
Well,
Mayor,
Yes.
you have, as a granddaddy, and of course as a father before that, to a young baseball player, gangly young baseball player, they have gone to plenty of youth baseball games, right?
I'll say.
So yesterday I once again traveled to Woodbury to watch the 10-year-olds play. Mm-hmm. And I really have a complaint.
uh-oh.
Okay.
What is the deal with between innings? The World Series games, which have 5 minutes of ads, don't have as much bleeping time between bleeping innings as these little rats. They're out. Get your ass out there, throw 2 pitches, get in the batter's box, and let's go here. You got a 2-hour time limit. You spend 25 minutes playing with yourself between innings. Get out there. Go. Move.
I can't add anything to it because I've given the same tirade at the park, and I was told to distance myself from the crowd that I was standing with because it was driving me crazy. And I also went up to the ump. I got a hold of the ump, who was a youth, and I said, "Hey, kid, come here.
Yeah, right.
What the hell are you doing?" I said, "Are you out of your mind? You're giving these teams 10 minutes between innings.
it's
Let's go here. Throw the ball."
And we had a 15, 16-year-old ump. He's very earnest, but between every half inning, you got to go get a drink of water or something.
Yep.
Come on. Your job is to make sure the next pitch is throwing 70 seconds after the last inning ended.
That's right.
Come on.
I couldn't agree more. I don't know how that happened.
I got the daughter-in-law wasn't there, but my stepson was there, and we were sitting properly socially distanced, and I was doing the really not that far under my breath.
Right.
Let's play bleeping ball.
right.
Let's
That's
go.
right.
And pretty soon I bellowed out a couple, let's play ball.
Yeah.
Let's go. Come on.
Let's go here. What is
Hurry up. What is the deal?
I don't know where it
No wonder
stems from.
No wonder all these kids think baseball is slow and too slow to play. It's your fault.
Well,
it's your fault.
I'll be
Let's
happy
go.
to report, though, that as the kids get older, for instance, when they get to town ball, no one's more in a hurry for that game
Sure,
to be
'cause they
over
wanna drink beer.
because we all want to drink beer.
They should have Playboy magazines for these kids. When the game ends, you all get a Playboy magazine. Something. The faster you can play. Let's go. Something. God
I
almighty.
needed you 10 years ago. I can't tell you how many times I was bothered by this when my kid was playing
Yes,
park ball.
what is it? Well, they
I
gotta
don't know
go-
what drives it. What
They got to
drives
go
this?
over and talk to mom and stuff, and mom's got to come over and express sympathy if a kid pitched and he stunk, and
You run off the field, you run back out.
Yes,
Let's
right.
go.
Yes, right.
And they got to have treats. And,
treats.
Got to have
too.
your treats.
Got to have the treats. I forget about
Got to have a
the
juice box or some damn thing.
Yeah, somebody asked me yesterday if I wanted a juice box. I said, "Are you nuts? I never drank a juice box in my life." And look at me, 74, healthy as a man can get, almost.
Perfect health.
Perfect health.
Perfect health. God, it's unbelievable. It's just I don't know why. Yesterday, I've seen it in the past, but yesterday it kind of got to me because I knew they had a time limit.
Yeah.
So let's go.
So, Joe, I told this to Pat already, but speaking of town baseball, this is one of my favorite things about amateur baseball, right? Yesterday, Newmarket is playing Hampton in their first ever Class B ball game.
And Hampton has no business being in Class B, but go ahead.
Correct. So the game was supposed to be played at Hampton, a one-game loser is done scenario. You with me so far?
Yep.
The head coach, the manager for Newmarket, paid Hampton $400 to have the game be played in Newmarket, even though Hampton was still going to be the home team.
Really?
Why did he do that, you ask?
I am asking.
Because he knew he would sell at least $500 worth of beer. It was a business decision.
And you said they had a nice crowd there.
Oh, it was packed
that
yesterday.
Pushed right up to that Minnesota limit of 250.
That's right. Right up to that limit.
Right up to that limit. The first game I went to out in Gaylord, the guy said, we had 200. I said, don't tell me that. I'm a deuce, take 50 off that number and say you had 230.
248.
What the hell's wrong with you people? But it was very agitating yesterday for some
Pat,
reason.
it's too bad it's not a real baseball season because this local club is pretty damn good.
Boy, nobody can hit, though. God almighty. Cleveland's team batting average, 10 games in the season, 193.
Holy cow.
And there are 5 or 6 teams under 200.
Wow.
In Major League Baseball.
What's the Twins team batting average?
Well, it's got to be 240, doesn't it?
Yeah.
It's a little higher.
Could you imagine if that staff had this lineup? The Cleveland staff with the Twins lineup? Might be one of the best teams in history.
Their starters are really good. But I have a couple of takeaways from the weekend. The Twins can come at you with all these different relievers. Some of them throw hard, some of them throw easy, some of them, we don't even know what the hell Sergio Romo's throwing. It's just it's like Super Ball disc or something. But the observation I have to make is what are we going to do here? What are we going to do to pump off hitting into the game? I mean, if because you got the starting pitcher, you're taking the importance of the starting pitcher away from the game, and the starting pitcher has always been a big part of the sex appeal of the game. So I don't know what we're going to do there.
Well, the way baseball's going, you'll hear a sound effect of a ball struck, and then the batter will be instructed to go ahead, take second base.
Yeah. Yeah, it is analytics. God love them, have really harmed the watchability of the game. There's no sense in complaining about them because
they ain't going anywhere.
They're not going anywhere. But the watchability factor is way down. That's for sure.
And we had our first ever doubleheader with 2 7-inning games yesterday.
Yet. By the way, there was
I can't take it.
We had a kid strike out 9 straight for the Detroit yesterday. A guy named Tyler Anderson, I'd never heard of him, struck out 9 straight, tied the American League record, and we had an 8-paragraph AP story on the doubleheader in the game that didn't mention him.
Oh, boy.
That's how common strikeouts are becoming.
Wow.
So,
what is why the 7 innings? Is it COVID related?
Yes, they're afraid they're going to stack up because of the postponements and stuff. Mm-hmm. And Tony Clark, the head of the union, basically called up and said, "Let's play 7." Yeah. And Manfred's for anything that makes baseball shorter. He hates it.
Yeah.
Kenny, I watched Brockmeyer.
I saw that.
Yes, you put me on.
You even used it. What'd you think?
I think it's certainly their best season since #1. That's for sure. Yeah. And Joe Brockmeyer's this Hank Azaria put down of what would you say? It's a put down of civil behavior, wouldn't you, Kenny?
Yeah, normalcy and decency.
Yes, right. It's
anything decent.
Because year B was R-rated, doesn't even year 2 R-rated doesn't even approach it what it was, and it was also unwatchable. but they make him commissioner of baseball in 2030 because the game is basically dead. And they have a different view of global warming than you might too, because the weather report is a nice cooling spell here on the East Coast today. It's only going to be 114 in Washington today. But anyway, it's pretty good. There's one. His producer's talking to him before the game, and he wants to do this. Kenny, you saw this bit. He wants to do this bit about Uncle Jim or something. They said, she said, I want you to save that for the fourth hour when most of our audience wants to kill itself after the 12th pitching change. You know? It is a pretty good put down of modern baseball.
In fact, Joe, we played this clip, and we can because it's not part of the show. It's part of an interview that he did with Dan Levitard that is featured on 1500. Here's a little snippet.
Jim Brockmire has a legendary feud with Brent Musburger.
You're not going to bring that up?
Well,
Bringing it up.
Did. Now it's too late. I'm sorry to dig up a part of your past that you might not be comfortable with. Brent Musburger's an icon. Why would you feud with him?
I don't like to talk about him.
We insist. We do an interview. We do a show.
Well,
we demand honesty from our guests.
Can you call somebody a punk bee? Can you say that?
No, but...
Well, I just did. That's what he is.
All right.
And his face is annoying, right? Everybody hates his face. Nobody likes his face. But about 15, 20 years ago, we got into it a little bit over the pronunciation of... Do you remember Kent Herbeck? Remember him?
Yes.
Remember him?
First baseman for the Twins.
Yes, exactly.
Yes.
And I'm pretty sure he's in the Fat Guy Hall of Fame.
I think so.
But
he should be.
I speak a little bit of Czech, and the actual correct pronunciation of his name is Herbeck. You got to roll the I. Okay, and I told that to Musburger because he asked me. He said, am I pronouncing this correctly? I'm like, well, if you want to know, actually, it's Herbeck. And you know what he said to me? He said, I don't care. I don't care, Jim. I don't care. I said, well, you asked me, first of all. And second of all, what kind of attitude is that? I took it as a slight to the Czech people, quite frankly. And one thing led to another. He ended up, I don't know how to say this. He took a dump in my hotel bed. Okay? And he did.
But why? What was your history? Why would it escalate to there?
There wasn't a small amount of alcohol involved. I mean, it was funny, but it was also very unsanitary and highly uncalled for.
That'll give you the snippet of the show.
That's a flavor of Brockmire, but boy, they lost it when Amanda Peet left after the first year. Yeah. Amanda Peet was great, and they brought her. She's back quite a bit this time, so that's.
It's still drinking, so that helped too.
Yeah. She's drinking, but he quit, right?
Right. Yep.
Brockmire quit, but she's still drinking. Yeah,
and trying to raise. He was trying to raise a daughter.
Mm-hmm.
And that really wasn't his daughter.
So, folks, Pat made this when the show launched. I believe your explanation of it was, you're going to know right away if you're in or if you're out.
Yes, that's
if you start to watch the show from the beginning.
We talked to the guy who developed.
That's right.
Cooper.
Yes,
we had him on the air.
Yeah,
and he said that I said, right off the bat, he goes into a tirade about his cheating ex-wife. Right.
Right.
First show ever, filthy stuff about
They're
her.
at Yankee Stadium or wherever.
Right. And I said something to him about it. He says, yeah, we were going to give them the option of being whether they're in or out right off the bat. He said, And but two got a little body even by my liberal standards. It was unbelievable. So.
You mentioned in the column where you mentioned it that it first appeared on Funny or Die, just small segments.
7 minutes or something, 7, 8 minutes.
Yeah, and it reminded me of the segment where Brockmire likes to call play-by-play on himself as he's sitting in the stall in the restroom. And it's just so hysterical and wrong and sick and funny all at the same time.
That sounds so wrong.
And the third person, he's always Brockmire. Yeah.
Brockmire for the win.
Yeah, he enjoyed himself, that's for sure. That guy...
Who's the actor?
Hank Azaria. First, he was married to Helen Hunt, right? Wasn't he?
I'm not sure about his personal life. I know he's done a lot of voiceover work for different shows. And
The Simpsons
he was the goofy.
Yeah.
He was the goofy building superintendent or something on the Paul Reiser, Helen Hunt series, whatever that was.
Mad About You?
Oh, he was.
That's the first time I ever saw him. Yeah, he was trying to play the same guy that played the, what was the other popular one with the three women in the 70s?
Three's Company.
No. The one they lived in, Bonnie Franklin or something, and her two daughters. The Phillips, the drug addict. Mackenzie Phillips, the drug addict, was in that
with
one.
Valerie Bertinelli also in it.
Yeah. That series was extremely popular, and they had the goofy superintendent. So that's
Pat
Village.
somebody.
Yeah, that's right. Anyway, but yeah, he's properly irreverent, I think, in his whole life. So,
are you aware the PGA starts this week?
I am right. I watched golf. I watched quite a bit of golf this weekend for the first time in a long time. They did enough to that golf course there to make it interesting down the stretch. They get it's kind of like where the Honda Classic is played. The last 2-3 holes, you better be careful. You hit it in the water. But it was I enjoyed it yesterday. It was
the
pretty
PGA
good.
is at, I think it's called Harding Park in San Francisco.
Yes, Harding Park is an old public golf course not far from Olympic and from the Olympic Club. And they went in, and beautiful hunk of land, but kind of had fallen on hard times. And city of San Francisco or the county or whoever went in and spent millions on the thing. And, now costs you a ton of money to play there, but it's supposed to be a hell of a golf course. So
well, the beauty of it is we'll get some prime time coverage because you get the 2-hour difference in time. They'll be on till about 8 o'clock.
Eldrick finally has to show up for one, too.
Yep.
Yeah, it'll be good. So that was interesting leaderboard they had yesterday, Koepka and Thomas going down. It does make me feel that we didn't get Brooks Koepka's best effort here a week ago, Joe.
I don't think so.
Yeah, he kind of, first of all, DJ shows up, shoots 80, and says, I'm leaving. And then he's in contention this week. And then Koepka, he doesn't make the cut. And then he goes and he damn near wins the tournament yesterday. So I'm thinking we didn't get their sincerest best up at the TPC Twin Cities.
If Player, Nicklaus, and Palmer were the big three of their generation, all through the 60s and into the 70s, they were the big three.
Yep.
Who would be the current big three of their generation? Because I can only come up with two, Mickelson and Woods. I can't come up with a big third. I can't come up with one.
I don't know who the third is, right? I mean,
Yeah,
and how far back do you got to go?
Well,
you got to
go back.
You got to go back to the late 90s? Or How about the big three of this century?
Well, the
Woods,
big three.
Mickelson, and who's number 3?
Nicklaus.
Rory? No, this century.
Oh, this century.
This is the 2000s, Joe.
That's right. We're not in.
We went through that whole deal about 20 years ago.
That's right. That's right. We switched.
Yeah, right. And I would say Rory, maybe.
Yeah, okay.
But he's he hasn't won the Masters yet, so I maybe never will because he's not much of a putter. But
he didn't do well over the weekend. This weekend.
No, he's distracted now. He's got a wife, right? Mm-hmm. Who'd he marry? Some attractive young lady.
Well, he had options.
Yeah, he did. Well, he dumped Caroline Wozniacki, one of my favorite ever
I've just
players.
pulled up the list of golfers with most PGA wins, and the ones that are active currently, Rory has the most with 40. Oh, shoot, I just had it.
Tiger's.
Outside of Tiger
Rory's
and Phil.
next. He got 40-some on the PGA?
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, I guess it is him then.
44 wins.
But Phil's got, how many's Phil got?
Phil's
got to be right there.
Here.
Phil's got to have more than 44, doesn't he?
Well,
he played good over the weekend, huh?
Darn it, where did he go? I
Yes,
just
he
had
did.
him up here.
You know what's interesting about Phil is he's had this longevity. It proves that guys who are a little tubby can have longevity too, because he's always been a little overweight. He gets skinny once in a while, but you remember when he tried to tell us he had a unique sort of fat? Remember that about 15 years ago? He had some term for
How so?
I'd have to look up the term, but it is It was God, I can't remember what the term was, but he was trying to explain how the fact he was overweight didn't hurt him because it was a unique kind of
A
fat.
special kind of fat.
Yeah, and he was
Muscle fat.
Yeah. Well, basically, that's what it did. It was that rare fat that made you stronger, I guess. I don't know what it was.
Erica Stoll is the name of Rory McIlroy's new wife, and I know you will find this shocking. She is very fetching.
Yeah.
Is she worth leaving the house on Christmas morning?
Yes.
Well, our guy Ricky, meanwhile, who once again choked like a dog, he married the pole vaulter, right?
I'm unsure.
Allison Stocky, who's really good looking.
I always pick 5 players every year and have a family bet. I always
On
pick
the
5.
majors, you had to wait a long time to pay off this year.
Right. Well, we haven't had any yet.
Yes.
So I'm going to pick. I got to come up with 5 players that have never won a major before, and I predict one of them will win a major. But I'm taking Finau and Fowler off my list. I don't think they can do it.
No, they're both. They're not big finishers. That's for
No, I don't think they can do it.
sure.
So I got to come up with 5.
Finau 30 top 10s without winning.
Mm-hmm.
That's pretty incredible.
And Ricky doesn't win enough to have earned this tremendous reputation he has. He's well thought of and doesn't hurt in the endorsement business.
He can
but
he can putt a little, but I don't
Yeah.
know. He's not very consistent.
yeah.
I don't know. Hey, Joe, tell me about the hockey game. What, did you watch much of it?
You kidding me? I'm not waiting up till midnight to watch a meaningless hockey
How about
game.
you, Reaver?
I
Did you
watched.
watch it? How about you, Kenny? Did
I
you watch
nodded
it?
off in the third period, but I did watch the first 2 periods.
So,
I've seen just a few plays.
So-
mostly highlights.
So do we have the new John Casey? John Casey, kind of obscure, took us to the Cup final in '91, and now all of a sudden the guy Stalock, the kid from UMD, is they can't beat him. He was playing great when the season ended, and now he's last night 28 save shutout.
Well, I will say this, and not to take anything, he did play a good game, but the defense, Spurgeon among them, gave them no shot those first 2 lines for Vancouver. I mean, they were so good yesterday.
Tell me this: what's the format? I haven't paid a lot of attention to it.
Okay, we let the 8 nearest teams. No, actually 4 in each division. The 4 nearest teams in each division into this qualifying round, which they now have started calling the playoffs, to try to win, to try to advance to the round of 16. So those teams, those 8 teams, 4 in the East, 4 in the West. Oh, wait, 16. Those 16 teams are playing 8 best of 5s. To then advance to the next round to play the 1 through 8 seeds in the tournament. So,
Okay, so either Minnesota or Vancouver is
then-
done after this series.
yes,
Correct.
And
All right.
if you're done,
Yep.
then you get a 12.5% chance to get the number 1 draft choice.
So then I have to ask a question, because the phrase you guys have always used talking about playoff hockey is you want to go to the lake. Well, do you
Gotta
want to
go
go
to
to
the
the lake in August?
Now
or-
they're back from the lake.
Yeah,
That's
you-
good. They were back to the. We went to the lake in June. We got there early. We got sick of the lake. We're back. But this is black fly. Bug season at the lake anyway.
That's
so,
true. Yeah.
You want to go to the lake in the spring before they really get bad.
Who else is in Edmonton? The Blackhawks?
Everybody in the
West.
Everybody in the
12
West,
teams
okay.
in the West, and
And-
I can't tell you who didn't make it.
And then the other 12 are in Toronto?
In Toronto, yes.
All right.
Here, I can pull up the list. You know what we should have done is we should have done the win, loss for the bubble for the NHL bubble, like we always like to do with football. All right, you got Calgary's playing Winnipeg, and they're actually playing right now. It's 1-0 in the first period. That's
Who's winning? That's usually
Winnipeg. Winnipeg's
giving
up.
the key part of giving the score is not to just give the score.
That's true. You got to let them know.
It's 2-0, and I don't know who's ahead.
In Toronto, in about 2 hours, Washington is playing Tampa Bay. Dallas is playing Vegas. Montreal and Pittsburgh. Chicago and Edmonton. Carolina already beat the Rangers today. Florida is playing the Island. The Coyotes are playing Nashville. Columbus and Toronto. and your Minnesotas and Vancouvers. That rounds out your tournaments.
Two games on right now. Thank you for alerting me.
Yeah.
Now I get something to do for the
Where
rest
do they
of
show them? NBC Sports and what else? Where else they show 'em?
NHL Network.
NHL
Oh,
Network.
that's right.
Yeah.
I don't know. Which one I don't have? One of them I don't have on.
I don't think I have NHL.
My YouTube might not have NBA.com.
It doesn't matter because I can't watch the Wild because I have Dish and the whole Fox North.
Oh, they're still
nonsense,
feuding
so-
with them, huh?
Yeah, so I can't watch.
What's
the Wild
Dish
or the
telling you?
Twins.
That they just
well,
being
each side is-
unreasonable.
Yeah, each side is blaming the other. It's both. Yeah,
That's the
it's
way it.
nonsense.
I wrote something about the Twins. One reason that they're playing in these 30 different ballparks is because the regional networks pay about $2 billion a year to the baseball, and they want night games, right? They don't want to have 6 teams in Milwaukee and play at 11, 4, 3, and 7. And somebody sent me back a note and says, "You should have said something about FSN not being on Dish." No, I shouldn't.
No.
But, that's Dish's problem, not mine.
How you doing with fanless sports, Patrick?
Hey, you know what? When I go to the Twins game in person, I've only been to 2. I'm going today. I kind of like it. Mm-hmm. Nobody to annoy you.
Hey, Royce.
You gotta watch. You gotta watch when I bellow out an insult at one of the lads. I gotta keep it down a little. I gotta remember not because they might be able to hear it. But and the traffic, it's good. It's no traffic, and they're giving us good parking spots, so it's that's an advantage. But when I watch it on TV, I can't stand it. So.
Yeah.
See, it hasn't really bugged me at all, and I thought it would.
I think it's worse from what I've seen in an NBA arena than it is in an empty gym than it is in an empty ballpark.
I have a question for you, Royce. And you said you're going today.
Yeah.
Maybe while you're sitting there in the box and you look out into the outfield and you see that old Minnie and St. Paul logo.
Yeah.
Have you ever contemplated changing that logo?
Well,
and maybe updating it for the times.
Well, they apparently are going to. They have said that, but they probably would. Next year, you'll see a different one. But as a guy who has very fond memories of Met Stadium, I like it, but I can put up with changing it too. I don't know what we're going to do because Minneapolis and St. Paul, we don't really have the war that we used to have across the river either. So when they came up with that, it was a big deal to try to get St. Paul people to come out. The St. Paul had tried to get the team for Midway Stadium, and they were trying to get rid of the resentments because
has the BLM movement demanded the change?
No, it's not.
think
It's
so.
actually a local guy. His name is Dr. Charles Crutchfield. He's a dermatologist.
Right.
Actually spends a lot of money with the station. And he just tossed it out on his Facebook page, and he offered up 3 different choices: a refreshed logo, or keep it the same, or just change it altogether. And of course, I was anti. I thought this was an awful idea until I had the brilliant idea of putting Kirby up there, and then I thought, oh, this is the best idea in the whole
Yeah,
wide
but you
world.
still get people, idiots, who respond to the Star Tribune article saying Kirby should be taken down because of the accusations that were made against him at the end.
Sure,
So
right.
you got to watch you got to mind your P's and Q's.
Well,
on that
plus
stuff.
Kirby wouldn't look any different than either Minnie or Paul right now.
Right? No, Kirby would. Yeah, which one's the chubbier one? That'd have to be.
Yeah.
How about
think it's the
Herbeck
same.
and Puck?
No.
Shaking hands, 2 tubby guys shaking hands.
Herbeck.
I think wasn't there something about Herbie being offended that or not being offended that they said he was on that was getting played
Oh,
at
yeah.
the all fat team or
No,
something?
because I think it was something he tweeted because he's
Tweeted
kind of
it
active
out.
on Twitter.
Yeah. Okay, but I don't think he was too. He had some reaction to it, but he found it. Somebody made him aware that Brockmeyer, who had put him on the all fat guy team or something. So, so anyhow, I don't know about poor Minnie and Paul, but it's the Twins, of course. The big challenge now comes. They got to go on a road for 3 different cities here. Stay in the house, boys. Stay in the hotel. Don't go out and have any fun.
I got a dumb question.
Yeah.
When they're at home, do they get to go to their own homes?
Yes,
Okay.
they do.
All right.
Yes,
All right.
they do. And I think they're pretty much on the honor system.
Mm-hmm.
Let's take a vote.
Didn't work out too well for Miami when they put those youthful fellas on the honor system.
So, did the Cardinals get sick while they were here, or did they get sick before they got here?
The rumor on them is a couple of the fellas went to a casino down in St. Louis. One of the river casinos down there. That's the rumor on that one. So,
Okay.
I don't buy it all, though. You could get it anywhere, you know.
You could get it getting groceries.
They're trying to act like, boy, if these guys didn't go to the strip joint, we wouldn't have any problems. It's not, it's, they could have gone anywhere. They could have gone to the grocery store.
Yeah.
So it's not, not necessarily going to the strip joint, Although, did we close down the strip joints again in Minneapolis, Kenny?
How would I know?
No, I thought.
I don't like that accusation.
I thought maybe you heard anecdotal evidence.
Right, that's what he was
all.
getting at. Yeah.
right.
I haven't been to one in 20 years. I don't
So when
get drunk
Lutz-
enough to be able to tolerate
Well,
it
neither
anymore.
do I. But Fry, won't let you sit at the bar. Will he let you sit on Sniffer's Row? That's the question.
Mother of God, Patrick.
Well, that's what is the other term for it? Give me a better term.
I don't have any terms. I'm not a strip club guy.
All I know is
Anywho's.
when I stop going, there's guys in Wisconsin that come in wearing the hat lights and the miner helmet hat lights. like they're doing
Sturgis. I bet there's
like
a
they're
few of
doing
those
an
in
exam or
Sturgis,
something.
man.
Oh my God! There's just no amount of alcohol that allows me to go into those places anymore because I'm just full of questions.
The last one
How did it come to this?
They're depressing.
The last one
It
I
really
went.
is.
The last one I went to was early, like at 4 or 5 in the afternoon. There was nobody there because I was down doing a thing on how Mankato. The first day the Vikings would have been in camp, and when they left Mankato, and I was down doing a piece on poor Mankato, and I stopped at Mettler's to see how this was going to affect business, Sure. And they got a couple of quotes from a longtime waitress who was a little worried because the football fans were the best, gave the best tips, she said, whether she served drinks, or she was a little worried
So
about
when you
her
were there,
income.
how were the wings? Did you get the wings?
The wings, like
Like Lou Williams.
Lou Williams, when he got thrown out of the NBA bubble, he'd gone to the strip joint to get the wings.
Right.
That's
All I know is the further you get away from the country's tallest buildings, the more the dancers look like me.
Yeah.
We used to go once in a while when we'd get really full of whiskey.
Yep.
In the 70s, we'd go to the Saddle downtown in Hennepin just for the yucks, man. It was unbelievable. These poor old gals still out there trying to make a living. It was something. Saddle was before your time, probably, Kenny.
How
Yeah, I
many
don't
people
remember.
expected? How many people at Sturgis this year?
250,000.
250,000?
Yes.
So
Actually, Royce, my wife has been to one more recent than I have.
Joe's
She
desperately
met a
trying
bunch
to-
of friends downtown. Whatever that one
I really am
is downtown,
grieved.
right next to the
Jeez.
the 90s. She met a bunch of friends at that one.
Looking outside, it's sunny, and you're talking about strip clubs.
Bachelorette party, I would guess she ended up
So-
going
Yeah,
to.
some kind of party. I
I'm
don't-
trying to find it, but Whitlock had a great line about Lou Williams. And it basically, I'm summarizing.
And
he said,
Whitlock knows something about wings.
oh,
man.
yeah, he does. He goes, homeboy went in for the wings, and all he got were leg and thighs.
That's
It was
fantastic. What a
just
great line.
hilarious.
What's he doing now?
Well, he's doing a
is he
show.
on Fox? Or
Yeah, he's doing a show on FS1, I believe.
God, that guy, I love that guy. The columnist from Kansas City back in the day, big fella, Joe. And we're in Kansas City one day and for a Viking game, and they're mad at him about something he wrote about the Chiefs, and some guy's banging on the window of the press box in front of him, and he very deliberately mouths, "Go bleep yourself. In modern times, if we treated a reader like that, you'd get fired probably.
Well, in modern times, there's nobody to give you any grief in the press box.
Yeah, that's true.
He's a good writer, though. He's a good writer, Whitlock.
Oh yeah, he is very good, outstanding. There's hardly any. You couldn't find an editor to fire you either. There's nobody down in the office, so I don't know.
Is your newsroom open?
Yeah, but nobody's in there. Yeah. But you can get in with the proper credentials and stuff. So that's I go in there about once or twice a week, and newsroom for 240 people, and there might be 2 people, and there's got to be the safest place in the Twin Cities. Plus, they come in there and spray it about every 2 hours.
I haven't been in the newsroom since early March.
Well, that doesn't surprise me. We got guys.
Your desk at Hubbard, the calendar is still set at March.
Yeah,
you're right.
Hanging over your desk, it's still at March.
That's okay. But the mask, Reavers, at least in Newmarket, they were all following the mask guidelines.
Yeah, they were all in socially distancing and everything like that. Yeah, it was a. Yeah, they were all being very responsible yesterday in Newmarket.
What is the proper, when you go to the grocery store and you put on the mask, how far out of the grocery store can you, when you take off the mask?
I don't even get through where the sliding door opens and I have it off as I'm walking back to my vehicle.
Yeah,
because the truth of the matter is, I got such a cheap mask, it doesn't do any good anyway. I'm just doing it so I can go in a building. That's
I think the mask you have would dissolve if droplets were to touch it. I think it would dissolve.
That's right here. But it does fog up my glasses when I'm in the press box and it's hot. So.
Oh, you have to wear it in the press box?
Oh, God, yes.
Okay.
Yeah. Everywhere in the ballpark. They're crazy.
How many people do they allow in the press box?
35, but they aren't drawing that many.
It's you and Lavelle.
Judd goes every game. Judd's there every game.
He is.
Representing Score North. Cranking it out, man.
Yep.
Fighting a good fight.
Yep.
Did you see Wetmore started a Twins newsletter?
No, I didn't.
Guess what the title is? 5 Thoughts.
Where'd he get that?
That's what he did here, 5 Thoughts.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, hopefully it'll lead to some success for the young man.
Yes. Gentleman and a scholar.
He witnessed the phenomenon known as garage logic and decided to create his own deal. Yeah.
Yes. Explain that. Joe?
What?
All these years you did a radio show.
Right.
Don't you wish you'd been doing a podcast for about 8 years?
I'd love the podcast format.
I know.
Yeah.
It's a phenomenal success. It's amazing.
Well, it
Think
demonstrates.
Of all those times you could have sneaked out to some public golf course if you'd had a podcast.
That's right. That's right.
And,
it's about 3-4 times a week by my count.
Oh, I meant to tell you guys we got to start early Wednesday.
Yeah, okay.
Attaboy.
Wednesday, early on Wednesday.
The best is when I'll check in with Pat on Friday mornings to see what time he's available to join GL. And last Friday when we started really early, he said, "Let me guess, Bleeper's got a tea time."
So, Such, I was telling Royce off the air you stepped away to get a glass of water or something. I've gone to Viking Speedway up in Alec twice now. They've only had 3 races. And in one of the classes, the same guy, Midwest Modifieds, his name is Brock Grunwald. Brock Grunwald,
Oh, yeah,
hell of
Brock
a driver.
Grunwald, good.
He has won the feature in all 3 races of Midwest Modifieds up there. And on the side of his car, his number is, and I mean it's a giant number, 2020. Then it says, "Keep America Great," and there's a huge, huge picture of President Trump on both sides of his car. And I'm telling you, he's got the setup and he's got the car. He can come from last place and win. But what I found ironic and interesting is in the stands, everybody has their own favorite driver. So there's a bunch of fans for number 2 over here and a bunch of fans for 32 over here. But when Brock is coming from last to first, and every car he passes, the entire crowd goes crazy.
Isn't that something?
They absolutely love him. And it got me to thinking, Royce, being the contrarian you are,
I might go up and do a piece on him.
you've got to
they-
find a.
but the trouble-
Royce, find a back marker, a guy that never wins, that always finishes last. Throw a couple $100 at him to put a picture of Joe Biden on his car. We'll turn this into
Okay,
professional
it would be.
wrestling.
I might go up. The trouble is, if I go up and write a column about him, which I like to do, then Republican bleeping bleeper, you know, because I'd talk on to Brock. I say, hey Brock, I hate the guy. So, but anyway, let's start from there, and then we'll
See how she goes.
Then we'll write about him. So
I was
a hell of
with
a
people.
driver.
I was with people in a car Saturday. We had to go to New Richmond, Wisconsin, and one of them finally said, "Okay, we're far enough away. Let's start counting." And I said, "What the hell are you talking
Signs?
about?" They count Trump signs.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. They get a kick out of it.
Here's what I don't
people.
understand. Everybody.
No, Kenny, these were people who don't like Trump. So
I
they're-
know. I know, and it
Everybody
makes me
presumes.
happy.
Everybody presumes Biden's going to win this state. How's he going to get any vote? He's not going to get any votes outside of the outside of the 7-county metro area.
Not one. And
It's-
same with Walls. With Walls.
Well, he don't. Yeah, but if he runs against the pillow guy, he'll get 68% for God's sakes. Mr. Pillowhead,
The pillow guy.
the pillow guy.
Is the pillow man really going to run for governor?
Mr. Featherhead. Yes,
Yeah.
he is,
Yeah,
man.
all right.
Do they got feathers in him?
Is he
It's
still
a
spending
patented
money with-
secret material. Pen.
Yeah.
Is he spending money with him? Maybe we ought to be with us. We should be careful.
No, he dropped us like a bad habit. Okay.
But you'll discover Brock is a great guy, and he's leading in the points in both Alexandria and up in Fergus Falls.
When and what day of the week do they run?
Friday nights at I-94 Speedway in Fergus, and Saturday night in Alexandria at Viking Speedway.
And
it's two
Alex is closer.
Yeah, just by, it's another 30 minutes up to Fergus. But Alec is a half-mile track, so there's, it's a different setup for both
Fergus
tracks.
is dirt.
Yeah, they're both dirt.
Oh, I
Yep.
thought Alex had pavement.
No. We don't tar our tracks. No.
We don't do that here.
Yeah, I might. That'd be fun. And but everybody'd hate me on both sides. 'Cause I
Don't you? Isn't that what you're looking for?
Yeah, that's why you haven't retired.
I thought that was your goal in life.
Hey, I got an invite to throw out the first pitch at the Class B Shakopee tournament,
Really?
but I fear being Fauci. I
Oh,
fear
no.
like
No,
missing, I fear like throwing it sideways, like Fauci.
No, here's what we do.
But here's the deal.
Oh, go ahead.
I will do it if they confiscate cell phones.
You're like Jeter's condo.
Like Metallica.
Confiscate cell phones. And we're going to have one last electronic sweep with a wand before I throw that. So did
That
nobody?
Fauci pitch, Royce, that reminded me of your golf hit off the tee.
It does. It does. That reminded me of Rookie's golf heat. It hit when Joey damn near killed Joe and I and the owner, Dutch Cragen, who was with us, too. Was Natalie with us? Who was with us? One of
Yeah,
the
somebody.
PR
But he hit it off a boulder. It came screaming back at us.
First ball ever struck at Cragen's golf course, Kenny.
Yep.
There's a big rock down at the end of the drive, but it's only about 2 feet high.
Yeah.
It's direct hit, and here comes the ball straight back at us. We're all diving out of the way. And his second shot is from like 60 yards behind the tee. And Dutch picks himself up on the ground and says, come on, hit another one. And they say, what? Are you crazy? I once, to be a nice guy, I once took him out to the Mystic Lake golf course, the one next to Mystic Lake.
Yeah.
The Willows, right?
Yep.
It's not a Mystic Lake golf course then. It might be now.
I thought it was called Legends.
No, there's the Legends. It's somewhere else. It's
Okay.
the Willows, really good golf course, and I gave him a sleeve of balls to start with. And
Are we talking Rook or Dutch?
Rook.
Okay.
gave Rook a sleeve of balls, and they were all gone before we got to the fairway of the first. There was water in front. He hit 3 in the water. That was the new sleeve of balls. Didn't make it over the first water hazard. 80 yards in front of him.
Oh my God.
He's the only guy I could ever play with that I felt good about my game.
Who was the mayor? I think it was the mayor of Cincinnati that threw out a first pitch a couple years ago, and he threw it in the dugout.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah. Fauci wasn't that bad.
No.
Compared to that guy.
We made fun of Harvey McKay when he got to throw out the first ball in the 87. Wasn't it the 87 World Series?
I think so.
Because he saved the Twins, and he practiced for like a month.
I bet he did.
He came out and felt the mound and did the whole thing, and that's not a bad idea if you're going to.
That's a fun thread to go down, though. If you go to YouTube and you see
Fantastic.
bad first pitches or whatever, I get trapped for an hour.
Baba Booey from the Stern Show had a horrible pitch.
Oh, did he?
Yeah, that was hysterical too. Yeah.
Hey, is he still on Stern?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Is it radio or is it
He's on
Sirius?
Sirius? Okay.
Yeah.
And who's he still got Robin on with him?
Yep.
Wow. That's
And Fred.
He's gotten better too. Actually,
What's wrong with these guys? Why don't they quit?
Well, he got a $100 million contract. That was one of the reasons.
You get to be 70. Why don't you hang it up? That's
true. Yeah.
The hell, come on.
So we keep asking ourselves.
Make room for. Well, they've helped some of us get closer to that decision, Joe. But that's okay.
Yeah. Keep in mind, you guys are supporting the people riding your coattails too. So,
And we're very thankful for that.
yeah. So keep talking, fellas.
Kenny, if you ride my coattail, you'll be tending bar or some damn place. Up there in Carlos or some. Carlos, that's a nice lake up there somewhere, isn't it? They've got to have a little 3-2 joint. They still have 3-2 beer up there? That's pretty well gone, isn't it?
Yeah, no, everybody has Sunday liquor now, so I think it's gone away.
I read some story last week. We're like one of the last states in the union that has it. And
why?
Well, nobody knows why. Yeah, I don't know why you do it. So, what do you think, Mayor? There, you get.
No, I'm thinking. The oldest kid I used to have got the boat, and he took it down.
Oh, tell us more about the boat.
Well, he had big plans. He was going to put it on Lake Michigan. Well, that fell through. Mm-hmm. So he's on this Fox chain of lakes, which is there. It might as well be named pus, infection, running sore. There's tree stumps sticking out of the water, and it's just grotesque.
This is north of Chicago or something?
Yeah, it's Illinois. Yeah, it's just horrible. He sent me a picture today. He said, "So far, this is the nicest house I've found," and it looks like somebody stacked up about 3 pontoon boats on top of each other and put a door in.
So you gave it away, and you gave it away and got the best of the deal. Is that right?
That was a boat that might as well have been the ambassador to London, and now it's the ambassador to Kyrgyzstan. The boat is rebelling. Oh my God!
Tree stump lake.
Oh yeah.
You said Fox Lakes, but those are the Foxes. They're up by Appleton. It's a different chain of lakes.
Well, it has something to do with the Fox River, but
it's the butt end of the Fox River.
Right.
Not
and they got a bar in the middle of one of the lakes. It's on stilts. It's just a white trash party every Saturday, and I got a picture of that, and it's Trump signs all over it, and it's hilarious. It's just
Sounds
hilarious.
like I should drag my pontoon
Kenny,
down there.
I was just going to say we need to make a road trip.
Yeah, that's perfect.
It's
just not the lake country we're used to up here. Let's put it that way.
I still cannot understand why you're not a lake guy. Why you're not a lake guy.
Doesn't make sense, Such.
No. I mean, a lake guy. Did you see the story in Sunday's Strip? The lake homes are now booming in prices.
I know. People are going to work from home.
People are going to work from home if they get the
You know what? I think he'd discover happiness. I think we need Such in the inner city. It keeps him crabby.
That's right.
Guys like Reavers and I employed.
Yeah,
you
don't want a happy mayor.
You don't want a happy mayor.
That's bad for business.
No.
I was offered,
especially if you're up at the lake and the CP's at home.
I was
In
offered
the
the
Twin
house.
Cities, nobody to rag your ass and be beautiful.
Right. Be no Game of Flaws.
Oh, there would
What
be.
were you offered, Such?
I was offered the home I grew up in on White Bear Lake to buy, and I obviously couldn't afford it at the time. So
For real.
that's okay.
You know, I've had an outstanding pool year, though, beyond paying the bills. Not one added on expense for equipment this year.
No lawnmower in the pool this year.
The other day, I heard this. Yesterday afternoon, I heard this horrible screeching sound in the neighborhood, and I thought, oh my God, the pump, which is fairly new, a year old, and an expensive one. I was swearing as I burst out of the house. The bleeping pump went out, and it makes this horrible sound. It wasn't. It was something over at the neighbors.
Okay, good.
Well,
Royce, I've had an idea for a pool party at your house.
Yes, let's
think
do it.
You should have a pool party, but the only people that get invited are guys that are bigger than a C cup. I don't want to suffer any sort of embarrassment when I take my shirt off. So it's got to be you got to fill up a C cup or more.
Yeah, well, it's
The C cup party.
it's not a pretty sight these days. As bad as it was when Rook and I took that photo in the studio, I think she's deteriorated a little since then.
Well, I think I could give you a run for your money.
I got to go.
High class entertainment today, ladies and gentlemen.
I got to go.
Strip joints and moobs.
Yeah.
I better do an ad or
Yes,
two for
let's
a
hear
couple
from
of
our-
prestigious clients.
Let's hear you talk about our good buddy Josh Arnold, Mr.
Josh
Money
would
Talk.
probably not support this conversation, but he certainly will support this endorsement. This is Ricey for my guy, Mr. Money Talk, Josh Arnold. I'll bet you don't know what's in your mutual fund or ETF. As I said before, I don't know what an ETF is. If you can't take my bet, then you better call my friend, Mr. Money Talk, Josh Arnold, to find out. Josh frequently sees a common mistake with new clients in that they are allocated as high as 50% in impaired stocks. Now, you may be asking, what the heck is an impaired stock? I have no idea, so that is why I work with Josh. Call Josh for your no-cost, no-obligation 48-minute consultation to find out how to get the garbage out of your 401k or IRA. Call Josh at 952-925-5608. 952-925-5608. Josh Arnold, Mr. Money Talk.
Hi, this is Chris Howard, host of Plugged In with Chris Howard. It's crazy to think that a few weeks ago we were talking about whether or not Tua Tagovailoa should consider retiring after 2 concussions and worldwide debates on player safety and NFL culpability. Tua has done nothing but go back to work and currently has the Dolphins riding a 3-game win streak and 1 loss behind the division favorite Buffalo Bills. While everyone was yapping about the end of his career, Tua Tagovailoa said he'll decide when it's time. And clearly, he's not ready to hang up the cleats. Hi, this is Chris Howard from the Plugged In with Chris Howard podcast. BetOnline.net is your #1 source for betting football and the start of the new basketball season. Find all the latest player developments, team matchups, news, podcasts, and in-depth analysis on every game. BetOnline remains your continued source for all your sports wagering information with live betting, up-to-the-minute scores for the fastest and easiest way to check in on all your favorite games and events, including the MLB playoffs, the start of the NHL season, MMA, boxing, and golf. And if you love sports podcasts, you can find those at BetOnline as well. Head to the website today or use your mobile device to learn more. BetOnline, where the game starts.